Well, I fucked up. You see, a couple weeks ago, I released a video where I played Kayn in Arena, and although the game was okay, made a lot of mistakes, and I ended up having a pretty good early game, but towards the later rounds of this Arena game, my Kayn gameplay just wasn't very good, and I ended up losing pretty badly. As user Stonks pointed out, my gameplay was pretty infuriating. And pause, I genuinely do appreciate him leaving this comment about how my gameplay could be better. Please continue to leave any sort of criticism, or even if you want to make fun of my gameplay, it's totally fine. We're not that serious around here. Anyways, back to their comment. They rightfully point out that I'm using Kayn's ult way too early. I really should be saving it for when I'm low on health and use a heal, as it doesn't do a whole lot of damage. And something I noticed is that I need to use Kayn's Q a lot smarter. For example, I try to Q through walls that are just way too thick for me to be able to. Or I'll Q at an enemy and just sail past them, and then I'm not able to get much of a follow-up afterwards, wasting a lot of DPS and let them just run away. So I have a lot to improve on, and I gave myself 5 games to see if I could win. I decided to ditch items like Cyclozord and Dustblade in favor of more bruisery build instead, using items like Black Cleaver, Death Stance, and Spear of Sojourn as my core instead. Well, will I be able to place first on Kayn Arena? Let's find out. Game 1 is a hot mess. I won't really waste too much time on this game as nothing really went well. I got paired with lackluster to begin with, and we just never got anything done this entire game. We ended up placing dead last, only winning 1 round before losing. We can see the first change to my build start here. I buy Eclipse here, but I feel like since we just got absolutely destroyed in every round, I'm not able to determine in this game if this is really the right move to make going forward with this build. But yeah, not anything really else to say about this game. Not a great start to my Kayn redemption arc, but we still have 4 more games to go. Game 2 was better in some places, but also way worse than others. This game I got paired with the Graves. We get off to a hot start, we win the first 2 rounds, lose narrowly on the 3rd, and then get back on our winning ways, winning rounds 4, 5, and 6 pretty cleanly. Round 7 is where things start to take a nosedive. This team really shook me and caused me to really have trouble itemizing this game. We're up against a Taric and Nidalee. With a combination of Nidalee's healing and Taric's shielding, heals, and ultimate allowing them to become invulnerable, this is the team to beat. This is where I stumble, however. I look for any items that can help me and can't decide on one, so I just kind of bought all of them and prayed. Here is my final build. Buying all these items really caused me to have no damage whatsoever. After that round, we win 2 out of the last 5 games and are eliminated in 3rd place. A much better showing than the 8th place from the previous game, but not good enough for me. I need to get better with my itemization if I'm going to place first. I think my gameplay is looking a little bit better than my first video already. Here on round 10, we're up against an Ornn and an Ahri. Ahri and Graves go down at the same time, leaving me in a 1v1 against the Ornn. And although my movement here isn't the best, I'm able to avoid a lot of Ornn's abilities and win the 1v1. Didn't even really need to revive the Graves here. Good stuff. And rewinding a little bit, take a look at how I use my ultimate. Ahri is in the top left and shoots out a charm. Meanwhile, Ornn starts his ultimate. To avoid both, I use my own ultimate, and when I come out of it, instead of being at half health, I'm now back to full. It might not seem like much, but these small improvements are a pretty big win for me. Of course, for every positive, there must be a negative. And for this, we need to talk about augments. Now, there are a bunch of augments in Arena, and so you aren't always going to get your preferred augments. It's just the nature of the game. For this game, I had a pretty cool one that I think could be really good on a lot of champions. Quantum Computing. Every 10 seconds, a giant circle forms around you, dealing huge damage to any opponents in the outer half. You also get a pretty nice heal from this as well. However, I really never use this all too well. Now, to be fair, this is a pretty hard augment to make the most out of, but I really should be thinking about these things when I'm choosing my augments. The percent health would have been great against champions like Taric and Sejuani, but I never put myself in a position that I could use that to my advantage. I have to start making the augments I'm given work for me. I had my Q to allow me to position my opponents on the outer edge of the circle, and I don't think I ever really did that. I was better off taking an augment with less of an upside, but would have benefited me more than a couple stray hits here and there. One quick note I would like to make is I recorded all of these gameplays one after another, so I wasn't really able to take the time to go back and see what I could improve upon, and I think the next time I do one of these is something I should do instead of just queuing up over and over again expecting different result. GG. Game 3 is where I start a trend of making a huge mistake, and that's in my form, but being too focused on other things to upgrade. Most of the time I was able to upgrade my form on round 3, but tunnel vision way too hard, and sometimes didn't remember to until round 5. Anyways, game 3 my teammate was Jax. We got off to a pretty poor start, losing Lissandra and Kai'Sa. Towards the end, I believe if I Q, I hit them both and we win. But whatever. Round 2, we're able to win thanks to Rammus being AFK, but way too close for comfort. This is doing a great job avoiding us, and then we kill him right on top of the Rammus, who almost revived him. Okay, we got them both. Ooh, fuck's sake. As previously mentioned, round 3 is where I could have transformed, but I just tunnel visioned way too hard and didn't. And as so, my abilities do no damage, and my ult heals me for nothing. So, moving on. Round 4, I fixed my mistake and finally take my form, and we won pretty easily against Leona and Nautilus. This is the game, however, that I decided not to buy clips, and instead I get Black Cleaver for the first item. I felt like the shield was great in 1v1s, but in a 2v2 format, I felt like the benefits weren't really there, and the HP and armor spread would be better early on with Black Cleaver instead. I don't want to go over every augment I got, but on round 5 I got the augment Giant Slayer, giving me increased movement speed and damage to champions bigger than me, and in return it shrinks my size. I feel like this could be a really good augment to take. Goliath and Heartsteel champions feel really strong in Arena, and this is a great way to counter them. Not only that, the speed increase feels great on Kayn. I think I really saw the positive effects of the speed increase this round. My old nemesis Taric and Briar are our next opponents, a duo that can really keep you stunned and burst you down. The extra movement speed was very useful to avoid the stun from Taric and kite out Briar, and that's just what I did. Jax goes down, but I'm able to buy time and get the revive off and turn the round around. What the fuck? Did I rate that? The rest of the game isn't very notable. We win round 6 against Urgot and Tristana, lose round 7 to Veigar and Draven, in a round where I feel like I dealt no damage whatsoever. Lose very quickly in round 8 to Kaisa and Sandra, wipe the floor with Taric and Briar in round 9, and then unfortunately we lose on our final round in round 10 to Twisted Fate and Nocturne. A nasty combo, by the way. Twisted Fate's ultimate gives Nocturne vision on you, allowing him to ult you from anywhere in the arena. And what the hell is this attack speed and gold card cooldown for Twisted Fate? This team would of course go on to win the game. Something I've noticed about Kayn arenas that's pretty common for him to do fairly well in the early game. But after round 6 or 7, his damage starts to feel like it's lacking. And it could be due to my build, but I just feel like I'm not able to have as big of an impact as I do during the early game. We'll see if this persists in the later games. This game, my team plays 4th, and although in arena, any placement in top 4 is considered a victory, for me, it feels like a slap in the face. If you're not first, you're last. I think Game 4 was my best game of this little challenge. I don't know if that's saying much, but let's jump into this. This game, I'm paired with Shaco, a champion that's really good in Arena. Not only that, but round 1 I get the Augment Brutalizer, giving me a lot of great stats. Things are looking good for us, which of course means we lose round 1. Just look at how good I am aiming my W. I promise my gameplay gets better from here. Round 1, Shaco and I are not on the same page. Shaco runs in and gets himself in a 1v2 situation, while I position the flank. Once I join the fight, I position my Q poorly and have to chase down this Orianna now. Meanwhile, my Shaco goes down to Lee Sin and well, I don't have enough health left for the 1v1. This round felt like ours to win. If I go in at the same time as Shaco, I think we can easily beat Lee Sin and Orianna pretty handily. Unfortunately though, I don't, and after that, I don't land my abilities either, causing us to lose the fight. For the first Guest of Honor of this game, we get Noxian Sacrifice. This Guest of Honor gives you the choice of sacrificing a percentage of your health for a couple of rounds. And in return, you get an augment based on how much health you sacrifice. Shaco and I choose to go for a prismatic augment, so for the next 7 rounds, we will start the round with half of our health. Round 2, we're up against a Briar and Set, who are also starting at half health. Shaco and I are able to both get a health plant each, bringing our health back to full, while Briar and Set have to share one. We don't end up going in with our health advantage, but we don't need to in this round. Briar and Set are able to share another plant between them and recover even more health. But while they were doing that, Shaco was setting a trap, and they fell right into it. I feel like I played this fight perfectly. I predict perfectly what Briar is going to do. I wait for her to use her E and then dodge it. I then Q into both Briar and Set, getting some pretty good damage onto them. We kill Briar and then kite out Set while he is invincible, and then easily win the round. Round 3 is pretty uneventful. We're up against a Mordekaiser and a Fury, and although Mordekaiser's at full HP, he was never really a problem. We end up killing the Fury, and although Mordekaiser is able to revive her, we don't have any more problems this round and win pretty easily. Round 4 is another easy one. We're up against a Shaco and Sona, and this duo is just not scary at all. I know exactly what Shaco's gonna want to do, and Sona doesn't do any damage. I'm able to isolate the Sonya and take her down pretty easily. I do use my ult pretty poorly here. It doesn't do a whole lot of damage and doesn't heal me for a whole lot either, but whatever. Shaco's clone is pretty obvious to identify here, so we chase down the real one and kill him pretty easily, win us the round.
Took off too much, more than he can chew.
Round 5 starts off pretty horribly for us. Oliver jumps onto me and shuts me down for a lot. Not only that, he has an augment that shrinks me, reducing my damage. He's peeling really well for Aurora. He then turns his attention to Shaco and takes him down really low. However, Shaco has his trap set up perfectly. This Shaco is playing really well, and if I don't make any dumb decisions, we can go far. If I can just allow my Shaco to set up his traps, we can hold our position and force our opponents to unfavorable fights and win rounds. Aurora is now in a 1v2, and although they're able to juke me pretty hard while my Shaco heals up, eventually we're able to get the kill and turn this round in our favor.
This next round is another easy one for me and Shaco. We're up against a Maokai and Aurelia. I was really surprised at the beginning here how much damage Maokai was able to deal to me. After that, everyone retreats and heals up as best they can. Aurelia jumps on me, and I won't lie, using my ultimate to dodge her ultimate was not something I planned at all. Maokai rejoins the fight, but right as I cast my Q, killing him. And after that, we clean up the Aurelia for an easy win. Round 7, Shaco and I continue our dominance this game and easily win against Volibear and Malphite. But this is our last win. Rounds 8 through 12, we lose all of them, just getting completely blown up with no chance to make a comeback. Here I was, my best chance at redemption, only to whimper out at the end. Shaco and I dominated after round 1, but just weren't able to get over the finish line, and I once again finished at 4th. This was easily my best game yet. One problem I had in my previous games was I just stopped dealing damage after a certain round, and this build felt great. It had an impact in the later rounds, and although Shaker was doing a great job, I definitely had an impact as well. As all great stories go, this is my last chance to win a game and redeem myself. I'm gonna have to play out of my mind in game 5 if I want to win. And so here we are at game 5. And this is going to require a little backstory. You see, a couple weeks ago, I uploaded a Tahm Kench Arena video, and in that game, I got the augment Adapt. This augment converts all your bonus AD into AP. This is a really good augment for Tahm Kench, since all the good Berserker items in the game give you attack damage. I found this build to be extremely fun. It's probably my favorite build I've ever played with, and I ended up winning that game. Now back to game 5 of this Kayn series, and I end up with the augment Escapade. This augment does the inverse of Adapt and instead converts bonus AP and AD. This must be a poetic gift from the Riot Gods. Surely. The opposite of a build I had so much fun using is going to redeem my Kayn. So as mentioned, my augment this game is Escapade. So this is going to be a pretty wacky build. For this final game, I got paired with Nautilus, and well, I was pretty hard. During the buy period, I was so focused on what AP items would be good with Kayn, and well, forgot to buy a starting item. Despite this, we put up a pretty good fight against Nautilus and Kindred. During the early part of the round, I was able to stick to Kindred pretty well and get some decent damage on her. Due to my lack of stats, I go down. Nautilus is able to stall in the 1v1 while Kindred goes to heal and is able to get me back up. I go to heal and attempt to rejoin the fight, but Nautilus gets chunked down, and after that, it's over. My mistake definitely cost us the game. This is not the start I wanted on my last game as Kayn. I need to do better if I want to win this game. So, since this build is going to be so different, I will be going over every item I purchase. Round 2, I fix my mistake and grab a Guardian Shroud and CDR boots. We're up against a Gnar and a Viego. I jump on Viego and I'm able to get the kill. Now we're in a 1v2, and surprisingly, Gnar is holding his own. It feels like we're tickling the little rodent. He gets his Mega Form and is kicking my butt. Thankfully, Nautilus is able to keep him occupied while I run away to heal up. This does allow Gnar to revive Viego, however. I'm able to heal up a little bit and wait for an opening to rejoin. Nautilus is doing a great job of surviving and keeping him occupied. After a little repositioning, I see an opening and am able to finish off Viego. It's not over yet, however. Nautilus and I are super low. Gnar must have felt bad for us because he takes the portal into the storm, giving us the win. For my prismatic item, I got Turbo Chem Tank, giving me a lot of HP and decent amount of adaptive force. What's really nice, however, is the active, allowing me to become unstoppable. And well, I goofed once again. You see, I was still trying to decide what would be my first item purchase, and once again forgot to transform into Red Kayn. Something I was really going to need since we were facing Rumble and Shaco. Despite my blunder, we actually do a good job of making this round close. Nautilus and I are on the same page and go after the Rumble. We can't allow him to sit back and burn us down with his flamethrower. We're able to get the kill, but we are way too low for this 2v1. We try to end the round quickly, but Shaco is able to do Shaco things and stall. He's almost toying with me at this point. He could get the kill on me at any point, but instead he tries to go for the revive instead. Rumble comes back and the round ends shortly after. Shaco finally decides to kill me and Nautilus goes down shortly after. Round 4, I fix my mistake and go Red Kayn. I also purchased Rod of Ages, giving me more health and AP. And this is a pretty boring round. We're up against Sivir and Sion. We once again tried to take down the damage threat early, but it takes us way too long to kill the Sivir. Sion's just able to get a lot of damage on me pretty quickly, and I die pretty closely after. The tanks are able to get up Sivir and I, but I position pretty horribly and allow Sivir to auto-attack me down. Nautilus gets revenge, also taking down the Sivir, and now it's just the tanks in a long drawn-out fight. After a century of fighting, Nautilus dies to Storm. I believe due to Sion's passive, he had no chance of winning. Round 5, we faced off against Leona and Kai'Sa. I'm starting to notice an unfortunate trend this game. I'm not dealing as much damage as I would be on normal Kayn. This is back-to-back rounds where I have ADC opponents that should be blown up pretty quickly after 1 or 2 ability rotations, but The damage just isn't there. Once again, I spend the game chasing down the carry while the tank is following behind, slowly whittling me down. I don't get as low this round, thankfully, and we are finally able to take down the Kai'Sa. This round should have been easily cleaned up, but Leona's able to survive and revive Kai'Sa. She runs away and I follow.
Storm's closing in. Due to our lack of damage, all these rounds are running long. Kai'Sa's able to dodge everything I throw at her. Once Nautilus and Leona join the battle, Kai'Sa goes down and now it's just Leona, and with the help of Storm, we're able to take her down and win the round. Round 6, I buy Hextech Gunblade. The item itself gives me 45 attack damage, which is a pretty decent amount to have in an item, but it also gives me whopping 90 AP, which of course gets converted to 80, and 15% Omnivamp is never a bad thing to have either. Round starts and our opponents are Zed and Tahm Kench. I'm playing pretty far back to begin with. Zed can easily burst me down, so I'm waiting for a good opportunity to go in. One seemingly arrives when he takes his clone to reposition, landing next to Tahm Kench. I'm able to use my W, knocking them up. My Q is on cooldown, so I'm not able to get as much of a follow-up, and Zed uses clone to get away. Tahm Kench is able to do a lot of damage to me, however, and I'm forced to run away, and this might be the worst round I've played in this 5-game stretch. Nautilus blast cones Tahm Kench away and up, and instead of running back down and wait for the plant there to respawn, I instead run up where predictably Zed should be as well. Nautilus is able to get the attention of Zed and Tahm Kench, giving me more space to run away. He's able to get out as well, and instead of running back to heal up, I instead decide to run right back in, and I get blown up. We quickly lose the round afterwards. Round 7 is against Diana and Aphelios. We quickly use our CC on the Aphelios, and just as I'm about to go in, Nautilus accidentally hits the blast cone, sending everyone flying. Aphelios takes the portal to reposition, and we turn our attention towards Diana, getting good damage onto her. Once Aphelios rejoins the fight, I then focus my attention onto him. He attempts to hit me with his ultimate, but thanks to the startup, I'm able to react with my own. Once I come out of my ultimate, I position myself in between him and the health plant to cut off his escape. I'm able to kill him, and turn my attention towards the low health Diana, killing her as well. Round 8 is a rematch from our round 1 opponents, Kindred and Nautilus. This round goes much better for us than the first round, thankfully. I'm able to get onto Kindred very early, doing good damage and forcing her to use her ultimate to survive. Her Nautilus uses his CC on me, giving her time to get away, but with only one plant on this map, she's not able to heal up. I chase after her and use Hextech Gunblade's active to slow her, making my W easier to hit, and make a goof and Q into the wall. You would think after 6 games, and this being a point I made sure to improve upon, this wouldn't happen. Nautilus is able to clean up the kill, and we then are able to kill their Nautilus not too long after and win the round. Round 9, I finish my build and buy Rabadon's Death Cap, giving me a whopping 522 AD. This round we once again face off against Shaco and Rumble. This round went horribly for us. Rumble was able to sit back and still put pressure on us thanks to his ultimate. We tunnel vision on trying to kill the Shaco, but he's way too slippery with his clone and his invisibility. It of course doesn't help that my Nautilus gets tricked by the clone and dumps all his CC onto it instead of the real Shaco. Rumble finally joins the fight and burns us for a lot. Nautilus goes down and I'm forced to retreat and heal. I'm able to buy enough time, but Rumble has his ultimate backup and drops it right onto him, basically killing him instantly. I run back and attempt to find a way to turn this in our favor, but we've done minimal damage to our opponents. In a desperate move, I charge right in and try to do something, but am unable to do anything, and we lose this round. We're now 1 round away from being knocked out of this game. Can I turn this around in time? The answer to that burning question is no. Round 10 is Viego and Gnar. We find a quick opening on Viego and almost burst him down, but Gnar goes mega and we get CC'd for an eternity. The tables turn and me and Nautilus are right in their blender. They are able to do massive damage to us. We lose the round, get knocked out of this game, and most importantly, I still don't have a first place win on Kayn. After all this effort, I failed. I couldn't win on Kayn. I still made a ton of mistakes, whether it was not buying items first round or not transforming when I had my form available, or even my mechanical goofs. It wasn't meant to be. Maybe there's a lesson to be learned here. Maybe that failure is a good thing, something to learn from. I certainly can look back at a bunch of moments from this video and the previous one and identify what could have been done better, what needs improvement. Maybe I'm just not good at Kayn. Maybe Kayn just isn't very good in Arena. Oh, you've gotta be kidding me.